Hey guys, Tim and Adam here, and we want to welcome you back to Flipperflix. You guys know how much Tim loves his foods, and he got to try a new one recently called 3 Wishes.
Yup. Breakfast being my favorite meal, I was excited to try this new cereal out. It's high in protein, low in sugar, and grain-free.
I thought I saw that 3 Wishes is free from wheat, dairy, soy, oats, corn, rice, and peanuts.
That's right. It's plant-based and gluten-free certified, made with modern-day clean ingredients like chickpeas, pea protein, and tapioca.
Well, that sounds like a feat of food science.
One that took 2 years to develop.
Incredible! So what flavor of these 3 Wishes did you devour, Tim? I saw they had cocoa, cinnamon, honey, and unsweetened.
I went with cocoa, and it was delicious.
With 70% less sugar and as much as 8 times the protein of their decadent counterparts, there can't be anything like this on the shelf right now.
And there isn't. 3 Wishes is now offering our listeners 10% off with the code PODCAST10.
So head to their website at www.3wishescereal.com to learn more.
We hope you enjoy this episode. Sorry, I had some tea and I thought I could speak Swedish for a second.
If you need to speak Swedish, just say the word lort.
Or skål.
Skål and lort.
Skål and a stoop. Anyway, I'm Tim. This is
Hi, Tim.
Flipperflix. And, yeah, I can't speak Swedish, Norwegian, anything like that. Scandinavian. Got nothing. But welcome to our movie review podcast, where clearly
We're super
we enjoy
professional.
being as professional as possible.
And we learn all the
put on
languages
your
of the
tux.
films.
And this is Black Tie Podcast.
Ooh, it's like a black tie event.
Anyway, moving on.
I'm Adam, and we are on social media. You can hit us up at Instagram or Twitter at Flipperflix, or go to our homepage of our website of www.flipperflix.wixsite.com/home. And like Tim always says, you need that home in there for my homies to go and recommend movies for us. Yeah, we're pretty cool like that. We're on Apple Podcasts and, Spotify and Anchor and the list goes on. But if you are ever finding yourself on Apple, please, and you like us, I guess. And if you don't like us, just please rate us. It helps. Gets other people to see us. We host events sometimes too. It's kind of cool. Check that out on Instagram. Sam's just eating little food snacks in front of me.
I was wondering what was going on over there.
She's just like being real quiet, just nomming on some fruit snacks. We release our episodes at 1 p.m. Eastern. And I think that's it, Sam.
Oh, no. Well, hey, I finished one of my fruit snacks.
That was just one?
Well, I mean, like, I was eating.
He's so astounded. Like, just what?
I just throw all of them in the mouth at once and list of Scooby-Doo snacks.
Okay, listen up. You're wrong. And I want people to prove you wrong. So if you like fruit snacks, are you a heathen and you just put the whole bag in your mouth at once? Because that's ridiculous. Or do you eat them one at a time? It wasn't just one fruit snack. I had eaten about 3 that I'm sure you probably heard. So we're super professional. But
again,
I don't know. I thought it would be fun to eat fruit snacks during this podcast.
Yeah.
But
Sam was really hungry during this film this week.
Yeah.
I was not at all.
What film did we watch?
We watched Midsommar, and we watched it. I forgot what I was trying to say because I was thinking about fruit snacks. We watched it on Amazon Prime.
4K high def.
Yeah, which I don't think it really matters.
Oh, I needed all of those details.
Gross. Now I'm gonna puke.
I got a bucket.
Fuck, what did we roll to get Midsommar? Oh,
Split the pod.
And I picked it because I was like, you know what? Adam doesn't like horror films. And I was like, well, Tim likes horror films, so I think I'll split them evenly. And little did I know what we were in store for. So let me read you the synopsis. A couple travel to Sweden to visit their friend's rural hometown for its fabled Midsummer Festival. But what begins as an idyllic retreat quickly devolves into an increasingly violent and bizarre competition at the hands of a pagan cult. So it's fun stuff. I'm sure most people have seen it, to be honest. It had its day in the sun last year.
Yeah, there was a
when it came
lot
out.
of reviews and stuff about it and people talking about it.
Yeah, and so I guess I'll segue into my expectations with
spoilers.
That. Yeah.
If you haven't seen it.
I have been wanting to watch this movie for like a year because everybody's like, it's so good. And I'm like, I'm like kind of on the fence about horror. I like it sometimes. I hate it other times. And I just thought this was an interesting concept. So I was like wanting to watch it. Adam never wanted to watch it. So I was like, what better time than split the pod? Regrets. But anywho, Tim, your expectations?
I was pumped. I don't know why I hadn't seen this movie yet.
Yeah,
we've brought it up to you. We've brought it up to him like 2 or 3 times.
This is my type of movie for sure. I don't know. I heard about it. I never really got spoilers on it. I heard that there was some rough parts to watch, but other than that, I didn't really know much about it besides like exactly what the synopsis says. I had never seen anything on it. No spoilers, like no trailers, nothing like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know really why I hadn't watched it. I think it's one of those movies that is like, you think about it, you see it, you're like, oh man, I want to watch it. Well, I'm kind of in the mood for something else, or I don't have time right now. And then you forget about it. And then you come back, you just repeat the cycle until finally you watch it. Like when you're recording or, a podcast or watching it or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, so this was 100% up my alley, which I assume means Adam just was distraught with terror at watching this movie.
Running around the house. I'm just kidding.
I don't want to.
I was about to say, one of us was freaking out a bit more than the other.
Yeah, I know. You were probably cowering behind the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was definitely me.
He had to pet Ponyo and make sure, he got good energy from her.
Did you do that?
No. That fucking bitch didn't hang out with us. Actually, that's a lie. She watched like the first half of the movie. She was really into it.
She's always in the first half. She was halfway there for Mortal Kombat. She was halfway into The Descent.
Mm-hmm. She watched almost all of The Descent. I think because it had like that red light.
Oh,
anywho, she usually likes cartoons, so she bowed out a little early.
This one had the colors of a cartoon.
That's what I was wondering. Like the cinematography, just to get into it.
I haven't even done the expectations.
I just want to say that the cinematography was great with the colors, and so I think that's why the cat liked it, but you may go on.
Yeah, now that Ponyo's gotten her expectations out there. So, Sam left out a major detail of her expectations.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she told me she thought it was going to be a slasher.
Yeah, I did.
There was literally no part of me that thought this was going to be a slasher. I expected a ritualistic experience where all the people except for the main character was going to get killed.
Really?
See,
but I knew a bit about Midsommar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like the holiday.
Right.
Because I have a friend at work who literally is in Sweden.
See, I thought it was going to follow like the festival and the culture, but then I thought, that like slowly they were gonna like die one by one, but there'd still be a solid amount of them left.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. It was too small of a group.
Yeah, this movie to me is like the type of movie where you expect 90% to 100 of them to be dead.
Yeah.
Like that's how I felt going into it. I was like either like one person will live or none of them live.
See, yeah, like you'll either like when you I guess we can get into this. Because they arrive at the fucking middle of nowhere, and which apparently in Swedish the sign said "Make Northern Sweden its own country." Funny enough, because they wanted nobody else. They consider themselves different from the rest of Sweden.
I can tell,
just a bit, right? But you see all these people, and I'm like, there's no way that this whole crew is going to come out alive.
Yeah, I guess they did have a lot of people, but I don't know. Maybe I was just being naive about it, but I was like, yeah, it'll be fine. Whatever. I don't know. But I was going to say that I did expect it to be a slow burn. Like, we'd keep watching it, and we'd be like, okay, so, like, it's a little eerie, right? But, like, not a lot had happened till, like, what, the 45, 50 mark?
Yeah.
And so I was like, just on pins and needles, like, waiting for something to happen.
This is the type of movie for that it works though. This is the type of movie that it's supposed to be like that because everything starts out like okay, and then but you have the eerie feeling because you know it's not okay, but you're like, when's it all gonna happen? And then slowly people are like, oh no, and you're like that person's dead. Like you're like that person is no longer in the movie. That person is dead, and they will show up later dead. And No, these are one of the. This is a prime example of one of these movies I love because it's just.
Yeah,
What'd you think of the beginning scene, the beginning part where
I was gonna
her whole
say-
family just gets murdered?
That was fucked.
Right?
That was fucked. So hard. Oh my god.
And let's just keep bringing the images back.
Yeah.
And back.
Yeah,
and
that
back.
that was messed up. But oh my gosh. I mean before that even after that I guess. I wrote a note down right after that. It says the use of mirrors is interesting. How they like filmed this movie, I thought was really good because a lot of the times in the shots, they would be focused on like a group or some people, and then you can see in a reflection somewhere either who they're talking to or something else going on.
Yes.
And I loved that. I thought it was really cool. And then a lot of the shots was like wide scene. You could see a lot around what was going on.
The cinematography that Sam was talking about.
Yeah,
It's insane.
It's really good. But yeah,
Tim's
yeah,
gonna go look up this dude's other movie at the end of this.
And then I also wrote down that the friends are kind of dicks, but
Yeah, I was like, Mark seems like an asshole.
you're supposed to hate him.
Yeah, but after he's there and he just gives up trying to like help
Yeah.
Christian, he seems fine. Like once he's not trying to like.
Yeah, get them apart and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like, I actually have a note. Mark asshole or nah?
Yeah. So I feel like the whole beginning part of this movie is painful because of the whole like family dying and then like
He wants to break up with her, but he can't.
And he's like a dick saying that her sister is just like a cry for attention and like she enables it.
Yeah.
And like that was fucking horrible. And then it was an even rougher start because the music at the beginning, like when you finally find out they die and then just her like wailing.
Oh my god.
That was like so bad. I was like, this is
that was a
horrible.
foreshadowing of all the wailing that's gonna happen in the fucking movie.
Exactly. And then like you guys were saying, the friends are like so shitty, like to her face.
Yeah.
Basically.
Straight up.
It's like it's so hard to watch in the beginning. Well, I mean, it's hard to watch a lot.
I think in the movie there's a huge clue right off the bat when he's like, "Hey, I invited her. It was your guys' idea. Okay? Oh, she's here." I think there's a huge clue when everybody's kind of like awkward around her, but then I can't remember his name. The Swedish guy is not, and he's like, "I'm really glad you're going." That's a huge fucking clue, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, just for this type of movie in general, but
yeah, I thought so too. Man, yeah, like I have a note that is like, girl is having a rough trip because once they get to Sweden, they like do the car scene, the airplane, they fucking take shrooms right off the bat.
Yeah, and like she didn't want to, but like that's the whole thing. Like this is why they hate her, not because of her, but because of like the way that he treats her. Like she's like, I'm not ready, but you can go ahead and take the shrooms.
And he's like, no, I'll wait for you.
I'll wait for you. And then he like Mark's like an asshole and like, oh, we can't have different synced trips. Like at that point, like he should just be like, okay, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Right.
Instead of being like,
no,
like
you're
awkwardly
correct.
sitting there.
He basically was the reason she got pressured into it.
Yeah.
Like she probably would have been fine not taking anything if he would have just done it. Like, dude. Yeah. She's an adult. She can make her own decisions. Like, if she doesn't want to do it... You
don't have to baby her.
Yeah, like, there's no... Yeah. And maybe it's because of the whole, parent-sister thing, and he's just trying to, I don't know, keep a level head. I don't fucking know. Because she struggles with it for, like, majority of the movie. She's, breaking down
Family's her
or
trigger
something.
word.
And, yeah, pretty much.
Well, it was what? A year?
No, it was like 6 months.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
Yeah, so it's, like, very fresh.
Yeah, like... Yeah. What was it? The Descent that we just watched where they're like
pretty
taking
much
them across
the same. Yeah.
the other way.
Yeah.
Over the ocean.
Well, the plane was not a Dreamliner because there were not 9 seats.
There were not.
So, they were...
Wasn't it 10 though? Dreamliners have 10.
I don't know. They have 3 rows and this plane only had 2 rows. And I'm like, where the fuck are you flying from that you only get 2 rows?
Right.
What?
3 columns.
Oh, whatever.
It'd be a very short flight.
Oh, true. That'd be like a little baby plane if it was 3 rows. You knew what I was talking about, damn it.
The plane flies a little weird.
Yeah.
But, dude, so they finally get off their trip where she's just passed out in the middle of a fucking field, which, I mean, there's a bear later on. Like, yeah, she could have been eaten. But they just got these flutists just sitting there playing their flute the whole time. And I'm like, how long do you think these guys are asked to play the flute? Or do you think they just wander the fucking park in formation playing the flute?
Dude, they're probably high off their mind. They probably just constantly just playing.
So not only do we have the flutist, we got this eerie ass like violin music going on.
Oh yeah.
That all these kids are running through the fucking prairie. Let's call it a prairie.
Yeah, sure.
And I was just thinking to myself, if they put some happy music here, this movie would be 100% different. Like, that's just how much the score like affects this film.
Oh yeah. And like the coloring is almost kind of like Wes Anderson vibes.
Yep.
Like with the like wide shots and like the bright colors. Like it could have been a happy-go-lucky film. And instead,
It was.
we
What
got
do you mean?
face smashies.
Well, we're not there yet, though. So they're running around, and these little kids are all running with their hands together, which apparently is a Swedish game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's called Skin the Fool,
Yeah.
but Mark asks about it, which is a kind of a little quick foreshadow of what's going to happen to Mark.
Oh, true.
Or all of them.
Yeah.
But specifically Mark.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's how he died.
Yeah, I know. I was like, at one point, I was like, are these guys just trying to make Danny feel like she's going fucking crazy? Because they just talk down to her constantly.
Yeah.
Except for Peja.
Oh, that's the one dude.
Peja is the Swedish friend.
Yeah.
Swedish
Yeah.
asshole.
Okay. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, it's Pelle.
Yeah.
So I feel like Mark, okay, so yes, like he's an asshole at the beginning, clearly. But then, like, he's super relatable. Because, like, when he's on his trip and he's like, everybody should just lay down. Lay down.
Yeah.
I was like, I feel that. And then, like, just, like, when they sit down at the, like, big, like, feast and, like, they're, like, waiting for the old people to eat and all that, he, like, grabs his beer when he first sits down.
Right.
And then he has to, like, awkwardly hold it for 5
Yeah, he's
minutes
like,
until he can drink it.
Yeah.
So I just felt like it's hard because, like, you want to hate him, but then he does some stuff that's so relatable. And, like, when the kids are, like, picking the flowers or whatever, what does he say?
Someone should tell those girls they're walking stupid.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, they're walking backwards and...
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's just, like,
He's just
like,
supposed
nice
to be kind of...
relief.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be kind of like the ignorant, like, not respectful of, like, culture and stuff like that. I think, like, he's supposed to fill in that niche a little bit. He wasn't, like, overly terrible about it. It was just, like, he didn't have a filter, kind of. Like, he just...
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, he's also freaking out about the bugs.
Oh, yeah. All the ticks.
Which is actually... the director is afraid, doesn't like bugs and stuff, so...
Nice.
He wrote himself in that character a little bit.
That's funny.
The director did a whole AMA on Reddit, and I did read through it, and I have notes from him.
Dang, I need to read through that. That's awesome.
But they finally get to sitting down, and they're basically in a big old hostel.
Yeah.
Where they all, like a big communion room, where they all get to sleep together.
Yeah, no, fuck that. I would not be able to
situation...
sleep with all these people in this big ass place. It's wide open. I'd be like, I don't know. I'd be sitting with, I don't know.
I could
the crying baby.
No. Well, the crying baby I couldn't do, but I could handle just like the open airedness.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't. Yeah, no way.
You two, no.
We're too untrustworthy.
I would go a day or two, and then I would probably pass out randomly in a field and be like, "What's wrong with him? He's just tired."
Well, that's why you take you drink the psychedelic tea.
Yeah, the psychedelic. What the fuck? That's a weird looking kombucha.
Yeah.
They said, so somebody was talking about Midsommar and like the Swedes and how they're portrayed. He was like, yeah, so we don't do psychedelics. That's not our thing. We get drunk a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
That's more of us.
I mean, it's supposed to be like this whole little community.
I know.
Like
somebody was just trying to like give a good explanation of what Midsommar is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like when you end up in like those big fields, though, like thinking about like Bonnaroo and all that, like I don't know.
Oh, drugs are definitely. Well, we all know that drugs are happening.
Yeah. There, so like it's not. It seems like on the surface, oh, let me just do some shrooms here.
Right.
Like it'll be fine. We're with our supposed friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gets real creepy.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I have a quote here from Simon, one of those random fuckers.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna ignore the bear?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like in a cage in the middle of the field.
It's a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, why wouldn't it be in a cage?
I know. I'm just sitting there like, oh, once I saw that bear, I got real sad because I knew something.
You knew nothing. Yeah, good was gonna come of that.
Yeah.
And
then I have a note. 46 minutes in, they're showing the tapestry where the woman's cutting her pubes, and I'm like, So I was like, I knew something was. Yeah. Sam missed that whole scene. I don't know what she thought it was.
See, the person described it as a love story, and then as it went on, you're like, ugh.
Exactly.
That is not a that is like a spell for seduction. That is not a love story.
Yeah.
So, fun fact, a pubic mincemeat pie was an old medieval spell.
Oh.
Congrats. Now you know that too.
Gross.
Yeah, you're welcome. But at that moment, I knew that, like, I had a feeling that Peyo was going to try and get with.
Oh, you knew it
Danny.
from the beginning. That.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's just.
That's just what set it in.
As soon as
stone.
he showed her the May Queen, you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's a pot placed perfectly behind Peya's head
Okay.
that has all the greens coming out of it.
What? That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you some details that's gonna make you wanna go back and watch it.
Fuck no.
Yeah, this is like Annihilation for you, man.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you mean by pot with all the greens coming out?
So like there was like a fern or something in it. So because at the end he's wearing a crown,
right?
And it looks very similar to the crown.
Okay.
And he's just like standing, and it's in the background somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the background behind him, so it looks like he's wearing a crown
of greens.
Yeah.
Earlier than he is.
Apparently, though, there's actually another tapestry that shows the entire movie in tapestry form.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing. Was that like, well, not hearing. That's what I was reading online. Was that like, if you're paying attention to the background artwork, you knew the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which, like, I knew there was that big one, the pube one.
Yeah, I mean, I caught on to a good amount of it, but like, I feel like there's definitely pieces I missed because you want to watch the film, you know, not search like the first time you go through. But
yeah, because I was like later on when he's in the proposition where they take him from one chair and they bring him into another room
chair
with another chair and have him sit down. It's like, cool, let me just sit in this other chair. There's the bear tapestry.
The burning bear.
Yeah, the burning bear.
Yep.
So like, I don't know. I picked up on the more obvious ones, but
right,
I wouldn't
same.
be shocked at all because that whole big barn
There
hostel
was more.
situation had so much. Yeah, there's got to be way more in there.
Oh, there's just so much. But they finally eat. Like Sam was talking about. Mark is being awkward, doesn't know when to pick up shit.
Yeah.
Which gets us to the fun scene.
Where they go to bed and he's like, the first thing's tomorrow, the Edistoop. Right?
Atsapun.
What?
The Atsapun.
I think it's pronounced Edistoop.
I don't know.
So have you seen them? So this was funny because as soon as I heard him say that, I also had captions on because it was really quiet for some reason. I was like, I know what that is. Because if you've seen the show Norseman, and Norseman's a fantastic show. It's like, if you've ever heard of or seen Vikings, it's a comedy version, basically. It's so good. But they do, in the very first episode, they do the Edistoop, and like it's the opening scene. And they're like, all right, elders, you have to jump off now. It's a great honor. Jump off this cliff.
Yeah.
And one guy does it, and the rest are like, nah, we're good. We're not going to do that. And he's like, okay, well, can you go away from the town so they think you did it and they don't get in trouble?
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, we'll just leave. It's fucking great. Yeah. It's a lot of like satirical stuff like that. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So they talk about how at 18 you have your child. Till you're 18 you're a child.
Yes.
Till 36 you're mature.
Mm-hmm.
At what was it, 54? It's like
54 to 72. You're a mentor.
Yeah, that's your maturity.
Yeah.
The other one's youth, actually. And then at 72, it's the end of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
is. She's like, what happens? And he's like,
yeah.
And you're like, oh god, that's literal.
Yeah, exactly.
So the Vikings, because the Swedes were Vikings as well, they were obsessed with the number 9. 9 times 2 times 4 times 6 times 8 and times 10 is what? The great feast that they're a part of.
Every 90 years or whatever.
Every 90 years.
It's crazy.
Boom. Yeah, so the end scene only happens once every 90 years.
Yeah.
The rest of the shit is a standard Midsommar.
Yeah.
The face smashies are a standard Midsommar? Where the old people...
The Edistoop.
The old people.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Edistoop is...
It's the sacrifice at the end that's every 90 years.
Yeah. Well, when those old people were getting lifted up to that mountain, I was telling Adam, I'm like, they're gonna chuck them off, and he's like, no, they're not, and I'm like, no, they're gonna like chuck them off, like these people, and then like they pan out and it shows that rock down at the bottom, and he's like, shit, that's like perfectly lined up, something's like they're definitely going over.
That's for your face.
And then they fucking jumped.
Yeah, I knew exactly what was about to happen.
It's like their fucking detail on the face smashed in.
It's a director thing. He does it in all his movies.
I hate that. And then the other guy jumps and just breaks his
like
leg.
An idiot.
Yeah!
Like,
who doesn't dive head first?
Oh my
gosh.
And then, like, earlier, Adam and I, it was so funny, we were talking about their mallet. We're like, what the fuck are they going to do with that?
Oh, I knew what that was for.
We, like, had that, like, dawning together. We were like, oh my god, they're going to smash his face in. And, like, this was this whole movie for me. It was like, oh my god, they're going to do this. And then there's, like, this moment of disbelief. Like, it's not possibly what they're going to do. That.
They won't show that on
like,
TV. I'm
saying the most ridiculous thing I can think of that's going to happen. It's not going to happen. And then I'm like, oh my god, like the horror that's actually gonna happen. That was like me through the whole thing. So this was another one that I'm glad I didn't see in theaters, because there was way too much like screaming and just like...
You should have seen it in a Swedish theater.
No.
You want to know what's funny?
What?
They found it as it's considered a dark comedy in Sweden.
I could see that.
No.
Like apparently in Sweden people were just laughing throughout this film.
Oh,
I could see that. It's kind of like it's kind of
it's a dark comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in Bruges, Sam.
Yeah, which I also did not enjoy as much as other people, apparently.
I did.
Anywho, that was a fun time.
I would say Simon and Connie had the proper response.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck?
But you knew right then that you were like, oh, they're not going to be happy about that.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, and so... Like, Peya honestly picked the correct, like, school, like, learning to be becoming an anthropologist to convince people to come to his village.
Yeah.
True.
Like, oh, hey, you guys study people. We're people. Come study us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have to ask the village elders, because you totally are going to make it out alive.
That's true.
Fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he basically has like a never-ending supply of people if he just stays in college for anthropology for forever.
Right.
But he doesn't have to, because most of it doesn't need to be. You don't need the sacrifices.
Right. True.
Which there's like Peya's parents burned in a fire, but it was not that fire.
Right.
I did a lot of digging.
Yeah.
Thinking it was like burned sacrificially.
Yeah.
No, he just was orphaned and then taken in.
Oh, okay.
And then watching people die is just, norm in their community.
Yeah. Apparently so.
Yeah. And, like, she's freaking out, and Peya just pulls a rock out of his pocket, and he's like, here, smell this. It'll help calm you. Like, yes, let me just smell that rock.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
Hey, does it smell like chloroform to you?
Here, smell this wreck.
But, like, what... Who takes a girl her sister just committed suicide and killed her parents to a place where these people just be jumping, committing suicide? Like, you don't think that's gonna fucking
I mean, he knew she had like lost her family, and he knew she was vulnerable, and he liked her.
He was just trying to break her.
Yeah.
But I was just like, Christian, you should have seen the red flag at that point.
Yeah, but he was such a dick.
He
was. He was so self-centered. Like, at the point where he's like, yeah, I think I'm just going to do my thesis on this.
Oh, you knew that was going to happen. Bro. You knew that was going to, because he didn't know. They dropped that earlier. He didn't know what he wanted to do. And then, you knew he was just going to piggyback on that.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for Josh.
I know. Like, except for Josh was a little too, like...
pissy about it?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't sensitive to the culture, I guess. Like if you would normally be doing a report like that. I mean, neither was
very
Christian.
Scientific.
Yeah, because like even in the beginning when they get there, he's like, "Oh yeah, I know somebody in these other cultures where that I don't remember what those robes were called." And then the elder just like didn't look happy and didn't even respond to him.
Oh yeah,
and it was like, oh no.
Yeah, because he was supposed to head over to like Spain and Germany and other countries.
Yeah,
because so many countries have a Midsummer Festival. If you didn't know this.
Yeah.
Because it's also known as St. John the Baptist Day.
Oh. Okay.
You know, the cathedral we were just at in Savannah.
Yeah.
Anyways, in Spain they burn a lot of shit because after the Phallus Festival they got ideas for other festivals to burn more stuff. Spain just be burning shit, by the way.
That seems like a good. That seems like a good.
A lot of their festivals have fire in them.
As long as they're not burning people, I'm down to attend.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? No. Yeah. This movie though, there's a lot of stuff. But like you knew that like Simon wasn't gonna leave Connie.
Yeah, like
he was 100% dead.
Exactly.
Yep.
At the point where like people start going missing, it's like, why the fuck are you still there? Like Simon's gone and left Connie, and she's like catching on to it, right? And then like by the time Josh and Mark like are gone when they wake up, like you better be like they were just. You could tell that, like, they knew something was up, but they weren't willing to, like, leave.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? I mean, it wouldn't have mattered. They probably would have.
They definitely hear Connie scream at one point.
Yep.
Yeah.
When they're making the mincemeat pies, you can hear her scream.
Yeah. And
they drown her.
Oh, it's fine.
They drown her, huh?
Yep. She's drowned.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there are 4 deaths that all go with, like, the runic elements.
Okay, yeah.
Josh is buried in the earth.
Yep.
Connie is drowned in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Christian is burned.
Mm-hmm.
So fire. We got earth, wind, and fire. No, earth, water, and fire. And then Simon is given the blood eagle ritual.
Yep, blood eagle. Yeah.
That's actually a thing. That's how Vikings used to kill people.
Yep.
Oh my god.
That's also in the show Norseman. They talk about it a lot. The blood eagle.
Oh yeah, and he's still alive when Christian finds him.
I thought so, because you could fucking see...
He's not conscious.
Yeah, you could see him, like, breathing.
Oh, and when he's in that scene, and when, you know how he gets the puff of shit blown at him?
Yeah.
If you pause the scene, you can see Paya looking in, and the girl that got Danny to do the spinning. Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're, like, looking through the barn.
Yeah. See,
I saw a still of it, and I was like, fuck that.
See, so I think, like, at the time that we see, like, basically what, like, Simon is filleted open.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to watch the rest of this movie.
I was shocked you made it. It's not part of the way through.
Up to that point, I was like, all right, I really have to know, like, in what way these people were, like, killed or whatever. I just want to know if it's part of, like, the ritual and stuff like that. I really was eager, and then they start showing it. I'm like, all right, yeah. Yeah,
I'm good.
That's what
I
I
didn't
thought.
need to see a lot of this.
Yeah.
So, Mark pisses on the tree.
Yeah, that was
yeah.
See, another thing, he's just like ignorant, whatever. Of like, instead of figuring out what it was, he just like saw the fucking tree and peed on it. It's like
I know,
they were
like,
literally
it's
just over there
clearly-
putting ashes on it.
I know, that was stupid of him. And he's looking at Ulf, the guy that yelled at him.
Yeah.
Yelling, I'm gonna kill, like, he's like, that guy's gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Ulf kills him.
Yep.
Yeah, I figured.
I thought it was the little Oracle handicapped kid that was wearing his face, but it was Ulf.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that he was wearing his face.
You thought it
you
was
didn't?
Mark.
No! I thought that, like...
This time I did not rewind. I normally do.
Yeah, so I thought that, like, they had just, like... Because they hit Josh over the head, right? So I thought they had just, like, smashed him into oblivion to where, like, he was just, like...
Weird looking.
Like, not there anymore. Yeah, like... And then, later on, you see his fucking face stuffed with straw, and I'm like, oh my god. And Adam's like, no, somebody was wearing his face. I was like, what? Like...
He was
Also,
yeah. So what happened to
Josh-
him though? He wasn't like sacrificed or not sacrificed, but like he wasn't a rune, was he? Or did you already say that?
No. Just there were only 4 runes.
Okay. Because they had to have 9 in total, right? And like 5.
Yeah.
What was it? 5? No.
I don't know why.
It's 7 outsiders. No. Hold on. The math is not correct.
It was 5 outsiders.
5 outsiders, 2 villagers, and then...
The 2 jumpers, right?
No.
No, they had the 2 at the end.
The 2 at the end, but what? Maybe it was 6 outsiders, 2 sacrifices, and then they picked... Yeah, that's right. It was 6 outsiders, 2 from the village, and then the 2 to pick from for the May Queen. Because that makes 9. And there was 9 in total, yeah.
But yeah, I think that is the math of the 9.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah.
And, like, the craziest part is, like, okay, so you're finding out that people are dead, right? And it gets even worse with the fucking sex scene.
Well, I didn't get to tell you that Josh was killed by Peya yet.
Oh.
Yeah, that wasn't Ulf that killed him. The director has said that Peya killed Josh with the mallet in the cathedral thing.
Yeah. Great.
Great, I know.
Okay, now can we talk about the sex scene?
Yes.
Jeez,
and how
Sam.
fucked up that was? Because that was, like, at that point you're like, no, it can't possibly get any worse. And then we're watching the sex scene.
Yeah?
I don't know. I feel like that was one of the parts that was, like...
Disturbing?
Funny, though, kind of.
Because they're, like, all
right, it's just
together.
Silly. Yeah, they're all, like...
Like, it was
I don't
just,
know,
like,
it's
too
just, like...
ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're all supposed to share emotion.
Even, like, the
and that's
crying
fucking
part.
weird. The what?
When she's, like, crying and they all wail with her. Like, yeah, that was like, funny, too. It's just like, alright. This is just weird.
This is a little over the top.
Yeah.
But I did like that they distracted her, basically, so he could do the nasty. Like, they did such a good job of, like, being like, oh, we need you to bless the crops. And, like, oh, we need you over here to do this and that.
While they put some nice flowers to take him to the room.
I think that was it too, that there's just like this beautiful bed of flowers that they're supposed to do it on.
Right.
I would be
there's
sneezing.
all these old ladies watching and like...
Yeah, there were like people of all ages there.
I think it was also funny because he was totally tripping balls.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And like you could tell he's like, what the fuck?
Last 25 minutes of the film, Danny and Christian don't say a word.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. A little tidbit.
That's I know. Cool. And then the actor that plays Christian was just like, so originally he grabs his robe and runs out and puts on his robe. He was like, horror films ever since like the 70s have had the women who are like in a situation like he is in have to run out naked. And he's like, I think it'll jar the audience more if I run out naked.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
With his bloody dick.
Yeah.
Well, not his blood, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shocked he could perform with the drug.
I think that was kind of like what it was, though, wasn't it? Like
I know.
Yeah.
I would have
the fertility drug.
Yeah.
Oh shit! So you pointed this out. They were talking about. You were like, "Why is his cup different color?"
Yeah. It was orange instead of yellow.
Yeah, it was like blatantly obvious.
Yeah.
At the feast.
Do you need the bucket? You might want to hold the bucket here.
Oh,
hold the bucket.
No,
okay.
Don't tell me that is the girl.
It's period blood.
Yeah. I had a feeling as soon as you said that.
Alright, let me change subjects real quick.
Okay, so about like when he's having sex with her. First of all, she looks not of age.
Yeah.
Okay, I can
Secondly,
get into that real quick.
the grandma is like pushing his butt.
I know.
I thought that was great.
Get deeper.
They're like finish. He's like.
I'm trying my best, guys.
I'm trying my best, but you
balls.
guys are like, you know,
Doing
sharing orgasms and like there's a lot going on, and I'm tripping balls. Like, give me a break, please.
Okay, so age of consent in that culture or in Sweden, I don't actually know. It's 15.
Okay.
Here's the word for it in, I believe it's Swedish, byxmyndig.
Okay.
Let me spell that for you. BYXMYNDIG.
Nice.
That's a word, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I remember them saying that. I was like, that's...
Yeah, I feel like
What
they
did you
said
say?
that when
byxmyndig.
they like brought him into the other room so that he could, I guess, consent to the monstrosity.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was just weird. There was a lot of weirdness going on, and then like the fact that they were sharing the emotions, and then, like, I would be really having a rough time if I was, like, wailing and screaming like Annie, and then all those people were wailing and screaming back at me.
I think you would cry more.
Yeah, that would not
I think
work
she
for
did.
me.
I think she was, like, starting to, like, kind of freak out more.
Yeah, like, that's just, like, too much.
Yeah.
Like, oh, man.
And then they put her on her pedestal and just put her... You know what? Let's put as many flowers on this chick as possible.
Yeah.
That are also, like, speaking
and breathing. Yeah.
So much drugs.
Apparently throughout the film, so I only noticed when they were tripping, like, in that scene when, like, the flowers were breathing and stuff, and, like, earlier when they were tripping.
Yeah.
But apparently throughout the movie, like, basically after their first trip, like, you can notice they're still, like, tripping.
Yeah.
Apparently. Which I didn't notice it in, like, if we're talking about, like, the face smashy scenes and, like, some of the other scenes, like, I feel like I didn't notice it. It was more apparent, like, towards the end and at the beginning. But
Right.
I don't know if you guys noticed it.
Here
I
and
didn't
there.
notice that.
Yeah.
But I did hear... So, in that AMA I was talking about, the film had an NC-17 rating for 6 weeks. They had to cut a lot of the scenes out, yeah.
Thank God.
I
There
think
was
they
more?
went for... Yeah, I think they went for the full Dennis.
Oh,
they
my
went,
God.
They went full exposure.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I was just going to say they probably showed more of the death scenes of...
Possibly.
Because, like, basically, like...
Oh, they show the drowning.
Yeah.
They show them drowning her.
I was going to say, basically, you know that they died, but you don't ever really see them die. I bet those scenes were...
It adds to it. Like, I wanted to, like, see and know, just because that sounds morbid, but just because,
Nope.
like...
Tim wants to see and no.
I mean, I do. But, like, I was fulfilled when, you know, you saw them at the end, and you're like, okay, yeah, for sure they were. Like, it was almost like, don't leave that up to, like, me to ponder what happened to them. I want to know that they were sacrificed and stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, so they were.
Yeah.
So that my curiosity was quenched at that point, but...
So Tim needs to see the director's cut, which is 3 hours long.
I do.
Oh, no.
Back at it again with the director's cut.
Oh, no.
I won't
But
make you guys go
anywho,
through that.
she's, like, buried in flowers at this point. And, like,
Right.
she's told she has to choose someone. And
Modern-
you know
know
she's
exactly.
gonna choose Christian.
So, like, while he was a shithead and blah, 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 you know, the dude was going through some stuff. I was like, put him out of his misery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought I heard that, like, the director said that, like, it was, like, the ultimate fantasy of, like, a bad breakup, right?
Yes.
Like,
Right.
basically, like, I'm fucking done with you, you're gonna burn alive sort of
Right.
shit, which is, like, so outlandish.
In a bear.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, I don't know. I was like, I know she's gonna pick him, but, like, really?
So, the yew tree thing, where she says, you will not feel pain. You will
Yeah.
not feel
Yeah.
fear. The other one feels the other version, like, the one feels the pain that said you will not feel fear. The one feels fear that doesn't feel pain.
I was wondering about that because it was like you won't feel pain and then that guy's screaming in agony.
Because he's in fear.
Gotcha. That makes more sense.
Yeah, and then the other guy looks so scared, but he's not in pain. And people are like, I think they had to do the yew tree shit. Otherwise, these fuckers would be running around being like, bad idea, don't want to burn alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Ulf, by the way. The guy that kills Mark. So Mark dies, and then Ulf is going to follow him to the afterlife and torture him some more.
Oh no. Well, and okay, so basically, I understand that you hate your boyfriend and he sucks and he's super self-centered and he's a terrible person, but do you really want him to be inside of a bear and burnt alive?
Okay,
Like...
again, she didn't know about the bear scene.
He's pretty much fully acclimated at this point, too.
Well, that's the whole idea, is she became part of their culture. Her
Yeah.
eyes change at the end from green to blue.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I just
Very
noticed her
strange.
smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie was wild.
Yeah. I will say she was relatable at one other part when she was dancing and they were like, "You're our May Queen." And she's like, "Why?"
Yeah. Wait, what? But I'm not part of you. But you knew, like, the whole time that was going to happen. Like, she was going to be the May Queen, and she was either going to be, Like, I wasn't sure if the May Queen gets sacrificed or gets, like, or if she's going to be brought
I wasn't sure there because she was in the middle of that circle.
Right,
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
oh, that whole thing's going to be over there, and she's in flowers, and she's going to be in the middle. And but
If I somehow became the May Queen, I would have died from pollen.
yeah.
Yeah, probably.
My assumption is Pela and her, like, basically get together.
They're king and queen.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's like what it's designated because he brought in the most people.
Oh my god.
So that's what his green crown was?
Uh-huh. He's the king.
So I wonder if they were supposed to bring those number of people, or if they had more, what would happen, or like what would happen if they had less.
Because like they're supposed to have a pilgrimage.
I'm wondering if it's like if they brought 9, they would have their 9 sacrifices, or if or if they had less, then the community has to volunteer more, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, could be. That would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Craziness. I don't have any more notes. I found it kind of difficult towards the end too.
Towards the end, yeah.
Take notes because like they weren't talking as much. People just be dying. People's lungs just keep pulled out of their back.
So I have one for the Edda Stoop.
Yeah.
I swear the camera pans back to show everyone, and the dude standing there turned around and looked straight at the camera. I'm like, wait, that dude just looked at the camera. Fourth wall! So then I was looking for other fourth wall stuff throughout the movie, but I didn't really see anything.
Yeah. I like how Mark was pissed that he didn't get to see that.
Yeah!
Well, they are anthropologists.
Yeah.
Right.
They're trying to study the culture.
But still.
For a guy who's trying to study the culture, he's pretty not understanding.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's like he kind of like picked that major because it sounded cool. Like,
And you don't have to do anything.
right.
That's the joke at our school.
What the hell? I took anthropology. I did stuff. I had to go do field work. I had to sit in the library for 3 hours and write down my observations of people.
Literally, the guy, like my orientation leader at
psychology.
school, the orientation guy at my school was like always concerned that when he was walking around campus that people were just anthropology majors were just watching him.
Yeah, no, that was like a thing. And then
Yeah.
I had to write a paper about it.
To be honest, I didn't know about that stuff back then, so
It's
I
the
just
study
kinda...
of human culture.
Right, yeah,
I want-
but like I didn't know it was named and that you could like take classes.
You
in
could
it.
study that, yeah.
I just did it on my own anyway. Just watched people.
People watching. Get real good at that at Kings Island.
Huh?
Yeah. I wanted to switch my major to anthropology after a couple courses, but I was like, what the hell am I going to do with that?
You teach people anthropology.
Yeah, or you can go into like archaeology.
That's cool.
Yeah, but
I want to dig
again,
up dinosaurs.
I feel like a lot of people want to dig up things.
Yeah, paleontology sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Nah.
But anywho, yeah. So if you want to be an anthropologist for a day, just sit down and observe people for 3 hours and write your shit down.
How many times they pick up their phone while sitting at a table eating?
Right.
It wasn't.
That was one of yours.
Yeah. I was gonna say it wasn't so much that. It was also that like they were in the library, so like they were very into like their computers.
Right,
and, like,
whatever
stuff
they're
like
doing.
Yeah. You got any more notes, Tim?
Oh, I liked when he was like tripping at the end, Christian, and he's like, he asked the old dude something. The guy claps in his face, knowing he's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
spaced out of his balls. He's like,
The fuck was that
he's
about,
like,
man?
why did you do that? It's like, he knew exactly what was gonna happen to him. That was great.
Oh man.
No, not really. I can't think of anything else.
All right, I'll get to the cast then. Danny was played by Florence Pugh. Is it pronounced Pugh?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. She's in Little Women, Fighting with My Family, Sam's random movie that she loves, and Outlaw King. Christian is played by Jack Raynor. He is in Cherry, Macbeth, Kin. Yeah, those ones are really easy. Just single word titles. I loved it. And yes, he's in the Macbeth with Fassbender.
Nice. Gotta see that.
Peja is played by Wilhelm Blomgren. He's in Ghosta, Min Mappa Marianne, and Viventu. Josh was played by William Jackson Harper. He was in The Good Place. That's a popular show.
Yeah.
He was like a main character, I think. Because he was in all the episodes. Dark Waters and We Broke Up. Then Mark, who is known on the internet as Forehead Kid or Eyebrow Kid,
Yep.
is played by Will Poulter. He's in the Maze Runner series.
Yep.
We're the Millers. I feel like that's where everybody
That's
knows
his
him from.
most, yeah.
And then The Revenant.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, now that's another cinematography masterpiece.
It's so good.
I can't. Sam won't watch it again.
Yeah, no, it's a 1 for.
It's a 1 for like Midsommar.
Yeah.
The director is Ari Aster. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I know that name. I don't know that name.
I don't know that name.
But Tim, he's done one other horror film that's like this called Hereditary.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
That one.
Oh, so it's funny. Apparently like the color spectrum is 100% the opposite.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. How was that one compared to this one?
This one's better.
Okay. This movie won 26 awards.
Damn.
And was nominated for 72 other.
Damn.
Yeah.
I mean, it is really like artsy for a horror movie.
Yeah, no, that was,
like.
but it was like mostly acting
Yeah.
and directing and screenplay.
Hereditary is a very straightforward horror movie.
Okay.
It's good though. I do like it.
The critics rated this an 83%.
Nice.
The audience a 63%.
Really?
IMDb a 7.1 out of 10. Then Google 67%.
Wow.
That's a really low Google
I'm
score.
surprised.
Now, Sam, would you flip this on, Miss? Been begging me to watch this for a year.
No, I would not flip this on. I will say I kind of understand the scores only because I think that some people that are expecting a really horror film would get turned off because it's it's very slow for a while, right?
Yeah.
So I can kind of get like those people being pissed off, and then I don't know. There's people like me who are like, it'll be like a little snappy horror film, and it was not that at all. I was scarred for life, and I don't need to watch it more than once. But if horror's your jam, I mean, I feel like this is kind of like one of the epitomes of a horror film, personally. So, Adam?
I would probably flip it on.
Because you want to see all the build
Yeah,
up.
I am like very interested in all the small details of this movie. Like, that's what I'm interested in. The horror part the scary parts weren't scary to me. They were just gore.
No, I don't think they're scary.
That's not the part that's supposed to be scary.
Oh.
Yeah, they're supposed to be a little disturbing, and I think like it's supposed to give you like make you anxious because you know shit's going on, and you're like, oh,
exactly.
Fuck.
I get more anxious. That's a word too. In Parasite than this.
That's
understandable, but
I think Parasite's a more likely to a
shocker.
Happen.
Oh yeah.
And like that, those movies freak me out more than movies like this. Albeit there could be some group out there that does this, but I don't know. Yeah, no, it didn't bother. Like, it didn't freak me out as much as you. Sorry.
That's okay.
What's Tim's response? What are you doing? He's gonna flip it off. He's like, he hates horror films.
This is my type of movie. I loved every minute of this fucking movie. I was surprised that it had 4 stars out of 5 on Amazon, but at the same time not. Just for the reasons that you guys were saying. It is a one and done for the most part. Like, it's one where I'm very satisfied afterwards, and I wouldn't have, like, I want to watch it again, but not necessarily for me. I want to watch other people while they watch it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want to anthropology. I want to watch people that haven't seen it watch it, and then I want to like go through and like, now that you've told me there's little bits and stuff in there that I'm like, I'm like, okay, well, for my sake, I do want to watch it again for that, and I do have an urge to like watch this movie again because I really enjoyed it. So it's one of those ones where like, yeah, while I wouldn't normally probably just turn it on by myself unless I'm just kind of like in the mood for it again or something. Yeah. These type of movies I absolutely love just because it's like a dive into like an exaggeration of a culture, and they're very rare and few and far between for this type of movie, like the culture shock kind. And I don't know, I just love that whole like taking something from culture and being extremely literal, or something that was done long time ago and still doing it, because it's not normal. But so I do enjoy those. And then this one definitely gave me like I was anxious at times. I was like, oh, eager, you know. So this one gets a rise out of me.
I wasn't that anxious.
Like anxious isn't the right word necessarily. I don't know.
The heebie-jeebies.
Just like eager, like I don't know, it's hard to explain, but yeah.
What was the feeling you felt, Sam?
I felt a lot of disgust.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, I think like the music makes it so uncomfortable.
That's what's
like
so
maybe it's
great
tense.
about it.
Yep.
I don't know. There's like, it got so much rise out of me for all of like the screaming, the crying, and the score, and it's just like it made me just like it just makes me like cringe and uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would compare this one to Annihilation though.
Yeah, or Wicker Man.
I've not seen Wicker Man, but Annihilation is a movie I came out of being like, I really liked that. And Sam's like, never again.
Yeah, but this one was like way creepier than Annihilation. Annihilation was a toned down, like way more toned down than this.
But yeah, I would flip it on.
Noise.
Yeah, I had Wicker Man vibes the whole time.
I don't know what
that means.
Yeah, it's a Nick Cage film, and it came out a long time ago. And
they do the bear scene.
And I added it to the list.
Oh no! I'm gonna be sick that week. Adam and Tim will just talk about that film.
Yeah, they said the Wicker Man. There's a bear scene just like this one.
Yep.
I read about that. But anyways, if you want to flip this on, you can. It's on Amazon Prime. It's got some beautiful cinematography, some creepy ass music.
Yeah.
Some
It's very well done. Very
well done, and yeah, you can see a lot of extra parts that you don't always see in movies that you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Or maybe you do. I don't know.
Or if that's your jam, yeah, flip it on. But like, yeah.
So
it's a film.
This is hilarious because I didn't split the pod. I split me off from the pod.
Yeah. And while I know that, like, deep inside, I know I was your target for this one, like. No, like I would, but I'm one of those people that gets really into.
It's not a flat out horror,
right?
Yeah,
it's more of a thriller.
Yeah,
and like, when there's the tiny details that are like foreshadowing it, like I get like really into it. Like I was like all over Reddit our movie details, being like, what else is other people seeing in this?
Yeah.
Some people saw some far-fetched stuff that I don't agree with, but
we know whatever.
Yeah. But cool.
To be expected. I guess we got spin, eh?
Yeah, I suppose.
We could do
it's
that.
Tim's turn. I want him to get director's cut. We'll see if he can get that. Here we go. Sam, you want to spin for him this time? Just click it. There we go. I'm curious as to what he's gonna get. The very blue board. Oh my God, is he gonna get it? Is he gonna get it? No. He got before their time.
Nice.
So, a nice little cult classic film to follow up a horror.
Hopefully Wicker Man is not a cult classic.
It's not.
Sweet.
I don't think so.
In the clear for another week.
Right. Well, thanks for joining us this week.
Yeah.
And I hope you don't have a lordy day.
Skull.